Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to unchain the ancient Persian myth of Zahhak. And trust me, this isn't just some old story about good versus evil. No, it's way deeper than that. It's a timeless lesson about power, corruption, and the darkness hiding inside all of us. And this is the absolutely terrifying result of that choice. We're talking about a king with two serpents literally growing out of his shoulders. Yep, meet Zahhak, the Serpent King. Just try to wrap your head around that. 1,000 years of darkness. Under his rule, an entire kingdom was trapped in this constant, suffocating nightmare. And it felt like it would never, ever end.
And this is where it gets truly horrific. The price for keeping these serpents happy. Every single day, the minds of two young people. They were sacrificed. Think about that. This wasn't just murder. It was the kingdom literally eating its own future, its brightest minds, its potential, all to feed the evil on the throne.
So you gotta ask, right? How does a man become this thing? Was he just born evil? Well, the myth is super clear about this, and the answer is no. Zahhak wasn't born a monster. He chose to become one, step by agonizing step. So his path to darkness, it all started when this mysterious figure shows up. His name is Ahriman, who is basically the ultimate embodiment of evil, and he comes in disguise because he sees something in this ambitious young prince. He sees an opportunity. It's like this slow, creeping poison, you know? First, Ahriman whispers in his ear, promising him ultimate power. All he has to do is get rid of his own father. And Zahhak, he goes for it. He kills him and takes the throne. Then, Ahriman comes back, this time disguised as this incredible chef, and he seduces Zahhak with these amazing meals. He totally wins his trust, and as a reward, Ahriman asks for just one tiny thing, to kiss the new king's shoulders. See how it works? Each step seems small, but it pulls him further and further from who he was. It just goes to show you, sometimes the biggest evil starts with listening to the wrong advice. And this quote, this is the moment. It sounds so loyal, so loving, right? My only wish is to kiss your shoulders. I mean, it seems completely harmless, but this is the point of no return. It's the physical seal on his dark deal. And from that kiss, bam, two black serpents burst from his shoulders. They're a living, breathing symbol of the corruption inside him. And just as Zahhak is freaking out, who shows up? Ahriman, of course. This time dressed up as a doctor. And, oh so conveniently, he has the one and only cure. You gotta feed those snakes. And what do they eat? Human minds. Okay, but here's the thing about 1,000 years of darkness. Tyranny, no matter how powerful, always creates resistance. And sometimes that resistance starts as a tiny spark in the shadows, and other times it just explodes for everyone to see. And the first spark, it actually came from inside the palace, in the kitchens. This wasn't some big, loud revolution. Not yet. It was just two people making a moral choice. They figured out a plan. Every day, they'd save one of the victims, swap their brain with a sheep's brain for the snake's meal, and then secretly send that person off to the mountains. They were quietly building a whole hidden community of survivors right under the king's nose. So you have that quiet resistance simmering, but then one man's personal grief just erupts. This is Kaveh, a blacksmith. He'd already lost all of his sons to Zahhak's snakes, and now they've come for his last one. As if that wasn't enough, they drag him in front of the king and try to force him to sign this document saying Zahhak is a great and just ruler. I mean, can you imagine? That was the last straw. And Kaveh just snaps. He rips the document to shreds, storms out of the palace, and does something incredible. He takes his leather work apron, this simple, everyday object, and hoists it up on a spear. And just like that, it becomes a flag. The first flag of the revolution. It's this powerful symbol of a regular person saying, no more. So now you've got a symbol, you've got a movement. But Kaveh's revolution needs a leader, right? Someone for the people to rally behind. And they find him. His name is Fereydun, a young man whose whole life, believe it or not, has been shaped by Zahhak's cruelty. And Fereydun's backstory is so important here. This guy is no pampered prince. I mean, his father was murdered by Zahhak's goons. His mom had to hide him out in nature just to keep him alive. So he grows up with the common people, far away from any palace. His power, his right to lead, it doesn't come from a fancy crown. It comes from his connection to the people and the fact that he understands their suffering. And when you put them side by side, it's just crystal clear, isn't it? Fereydun isn't the hero because of his bloodline. He's the hero because he's the opposite of Zahhak in every single way. It's the people versus fear, nature versus the palace, justice versus control. He's everything the people have denied for 1,000 years. So here we go, Fereydun leading this massive people's army with Kave's apron flag flying high. They storm the palace. And you'd think this would be some epic, drawn-out battle, right? Nope, it's surprisingly fast. Turns out, after 1,000 years, a kingdom built on nothing but fear just crumbles from the inside out. But this, what happens next, is maybe the most important part of the entire myth. Fereydun has Zahhak beat. He raises his weapon for the final blow, and then a voice tells him to stop. He doesn't kill him. Why? I mean, why would you do that? This is where the story goes from being a simple good versus evil tale to something way, way deeper. Instead of killing him, Fereydun chains Zahhak up and imprisons him for eternity deep inside Mount Damavand. Now, this choice is everything. It's completely symbolic. He's not just getting rid of a bad guy. He's taking the very essence of chaos and locking it away inside the most solid, most sacred place he can find. So let's break this down. Zahhak himself represents unchecked power. The snakes, that's just raw, insatiable greed. Eating brains, well, that's the destruction of knowledge, of the future. The myth is telling us that these things, they don't just disappear. They're always part of the world. The point isn't to pretend evil doesn't exist. The goal is to see it for what it is, and most importantly, keep it locked up. And that's the real genius of Fereydun's final move. His goal was never revenge. It was about ending the whole cycle of violence. Think about it. Killing Zahhak would have just been one more killing. But by imprisoning him, he restores balance. He creates a new world order that's founded on justice, not on more bloodshed. So the myth says Zahhak is still alive right now, chained up inside that mountain. What does that tell us? It tells us this story isn't really about some monster from long ago. It's a timeless warning. It's about the constant vigilance it takes to keep our own inner demons, and the ones we see out in the world, chained up. It reminds us that evil is a choice, that fighting back is a duty, and that real, lasting justice isn't about destroying evil. It's about forever, consciously keeping it contained.